What up? It's your boy D, back at you with another video. If you know about what's going on in the NFL this weekend, you know finally it has returned. It is game week. Thank you, God. We got a big week coming up for our Pittsburgh Steelers. We will be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And by now, you guys have seen my schedule prediction for the Steelers. You should already know who I got winning. You guys should already know who I'm rocking with. So with that being said, we're going to talk about this game in whole. We're actually going to sit down and talk about this game entirely and how I think we're going to win this game, what we need to do to win this game. Normally, Steelers don't lose week one. We really don't. Last year, we probably should have lost to the Bengals. Beat them. Handled them. We never really lose like that week one, besides when we lost to the Patriots week one back a long time ago in New England. So other than that, we are very much solid on week one. But this game is going to be very tough. I believe the last time we played the 49ers, they beat us. But I believe that was the year they went to the Super Bowl and they lost to the Chiefs. And every year after that, you can really much see how good the Niners really are. If you look at the Niners and the Steelers kind of last year, there's a lot of similarities, but they just executed a lot more. Brock Purdy came in and put on a show. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. They have their elite safeties. They have decent corners. They have dogs of linebackers. The entire D-line, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, and them boys. They got players on both sides of the ball, Christian McCaffrey, etc., etc. They have great players on both sides of the ball. Now, when you look at our team, we also have great players on each side of the ball. Safeties, we have Minka, we got JPJ, we got Big Pat P, we have TJ Watt, we have Highsmith, we have Cam Hayward, we got our rookies, Keanu Benton, Nick Herbig. We have a lot of players on our defense, but then that also, finally, we got a talented offensive line with Seyu Malu and Mason Cole and James Daniels and Chooks, George Pickens, Kenny Pickett, Deontay Johnson, Jalen Warren, Najee Harris. And honestly, I think this game is going to come down to the absolute wire. Do I think it's going to be an offensive game? No. I think we both have real respectable defenses. I think if our Steelers fans are looking for us dominating in the trenches, I think this is not the game you're really going to see that. I think it's going to be a real tough physical game. Kind of reminds me of when our Steelers beat the Buffalo Bills week one, when nobody thought we were going to beat the Bills week one in Buffalo. We had a very hard time running the ball, but we just ended up making very big plays here and there. And I think that's what this game is going to come down to, is who can make a big play when the game is on the line. And if you're asking me, who do I think is going to make that big play when the game is on the line to pick us up and get us through this game at home, it's either going to be Kenny Pickett or Brock Purdy. One of these quarterbacks, one of these young rookie quarterbacks who came out of nowhere. If you look at some of my old mock drafts from a year ago, it was actually very funny because I actually wanted the Steelers to take Brock Purdy in like the 6th or 7th round. So it's absolutely hilarious that he actually turned out to be this good. Looks like somebody has an eye for quarterbacks. But anyway, if you look at how they play versus how we play, we're both surrounded by a lot of talent. But if you ask me, I think Kenny Pickett is the better quarterback. I think he's more clutch. You can count on him more in big moments. And I think it's going to show the separation between Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy is trash in either way. I just think that there's more talent. Kenny Pickett has more talent and more athletic and more presence in the pocket than a Brock Purdy will. I think when the game is on the line, I think Kenny Pickett will be able to make a play, kind of like he did against Baltimore at the end of the game, to throw that ball to Najee. He had to scramble. He had to do what he had to do to make those plays. Can Brock Purdy do that? We don't know, because we didn't really get to see that because he got hit so hard in the NFC Championship game that I knocked them out. So I think that's going to be a tough thing for them, and I think that's what's going to give us a little bit of the edge. The next edge of strengths that we have against the 49ers will be our receiving core against their cornerbacks. If you look at the 49ers defense, they have Charvarius Ward. They have decent corners, but their cornerbacks are no way near as talented or better than our receivers. If we want to beat the Niners, we're going to have to throw the ball. Period. Charvarius Ward is going to be a very physical cornerback. Probably is going to be with George Pickens all night. But this is where we show how deep our receiving core is, which is going to cause a lot of problems for them. Fred Warner is pretty much going to be on Pat Freiermuth, which is going to be a hell of a matchup, which probably will leave Drake Greenlaw in the box. And we're going to have to exploit that. Deontay's going to have to do what he does with a lot of comeback routes, a lot of drags, a lot of curls, a lot of his intermediate routes, I think, will cause a lot of problems for the 49ers. And also the speedster Calvin Austin. If we can get Calvin Austin in there going, we're going to run jet sweeps to Matt Canada's offense. I think we can get guys like him going. Guys like, if Allen Robinson can win his one-on-ones, I think it'll cause so much more damage. And then when we get to the red zone, if we can punch that ball in, it'll be a beautiful day. And I think we just need to use what we know. We have a target in Darnell Washington. Why not line him up and try to give him a jump ball? Why not try to give Pat a jump ball or GP a jump ball, run the ball up the gut? We're going to have to do a lot of different things to beat these 49ers, but I think when we're talking about how we get into the red zone and how we capitalize off them, is going to have to be on their secondary. I think they're a young secondary, but their secondary is very frisky. The best way to describe them could be like Baltimore secondary. Baltimore secondary is very hands-on, very tough, very rough, and very physical because we both play in physical conferences. So with that being said, you're going to have to be a dog. And because sometimes you are a dog, that can get you into trouble a lot. And I feel like that's what's going to lead us into this game and get us the advantage that we need. Defensively, the one thing we cannot do, and I repeat, we have to be able to contain the run game. Their run game is all over the place. They'll do outside zones. They'll do inside zones with McCaffrey. Then they'll run it with Elijah Mitchell. Then they'll put Debo in the backfield. They have a lot of weird quirks and weird ways they like to run the ball and move the ball. We're going to have to be very technically sound to stop them. Because obviously TJ's eventually going to need a break. Heisman's going to need a break. So our young guys are going to have to be sound and be able to play the ball. This is going to be a huge key game for our linebackers. We know what their linebackers do. They have two of the best linebackers in the league. So this is where a Cole Holcomb comes into play. A Quan Alexander comes into play. Hell, maybe even Mark Robinson gets in the game. Our linebackers are going to have to play. Landon Roberts, you're going to have to play. We're going to have to make big hits, play tough, and play physical. If we can stop the run game, we can beat the 49ers. Because if you can make the 49ers pretty much a gun team, a straight up just gun team, I think we have a really huge chance of beating the Niners. Because they run the ball so well and so efficiently that, of course, then when they pump fake it, then you got a Brandon Ayuk shrieking down the sideline. Then you really got to deal with a Deebo Samuel. Their game is really all controlled off the run game and different type of schemes. If it's dive or if it's zone, they're just a very tough physical offensive line to where we're going to have to just really stay sound and stay committed and not get beat deep for the big plays. I can't see us getting really beat for the big plays like that. That's why I'm edging us to win, because I think our guys like Cam Hayward and honestly one of my favorite rookies on the team, Keanu Benton, I think we're going to really be Larry O. I think we're going to be really sound up front and making them really sit back and try to throw the ball and beat us. I think that's the biggest difference between Kenny Pickett and your Brock Purdy's. Kenny Pickett, he can pick you apart because Kenny Pickett is really that accurate. A lot of times, we all know that like people were questioning his hand size and if he really could be accurate with the ball, throwing the football. He's pretty much shown that we can throw the football. he can scramble out and make plays, make the right reads. So now I think it's putting it all together in our first game against the 49ers. And I'm happy that we have a very tough game we want, because it's going to force us to fight, to really fight. If we were playing like the Panthers or something like that, I wouldn't be talking like this. I probably wouldn't be making a video. I think we were that better than the Panthers. The Niners were in the NFC Championship last year for a reason. We're going to have to do a lot to win this game. It's going to be very tough to win this game, but I think we can pull this off. And when we do pull this off, we want it to be known that the Steelers beating the 49ers is not a upset. It's where we should be. We were one of the hottest teams last year at the end of the season. Just how the numbers played out, we just couldn't get in. Our teams are very much identical like the Niners. It is not an upset if we beat the Niners. But with that being said, it'll be something that will wake everybody up and put us back on the map for people who've been sleeping on us. This is a big game. This is a very big game. And I think we can win this game. If we run the ball, if we can get through short third downs, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s, control the ball, and hit our passes, we'll be golden. We will be golden offensively. Offensively, we really just need to have great middle pass game. If we can pass intermediate, I think we'll be great. If we can really just like nickel and dime them, intermediate, take the long shot. Intermediate, take the long shot. Really keep them off balance, and if we can get a little bit of chunks of yardage running the ball, we won't have a problem. We really won't have a problem. Defensively, we have one job: stop the run. Stop the run. I promise you, if you stop the run, you can beat the 49ers. It is that simple. Stop the run, we will handle the 49ers. It's very hard to run a play action pass game if you don't have a run game, because nobody's falling for the fake. You don't see corners, you don't see linebackers coming up and creeping and then having to force to bail. You don't see any of that if you can run the ball. So with that being said, we got this game coming up. The Steelers versus the 49ers is week 1 football. And most importantly, before I go, I pray we get out injury free. So then we got another day of rest. And then when we get to next week, we go and beat the shit out the Browns. We go wipe away them, get them up out of there, show them why they're. Because honestly, the Browns play the Bengals week 1 in Cleveland. Would I be surprised the Browns win that game? No. Do I think the Browns are going to win that game? No. It's going to be a very tough game for them also. So then we're going to be 2 teams coming off of 2 big tough games against 2 teams that just came out of the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. And it's really going to come down to which one of us are dogs, which one of us improves. And at the end of the day, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have improved more than anybody, and we're going to show why we belong in the top part of the league. So that's how I feel about week 1 with the Pittsburgh Steelers against the 49ers. That's how I give it up. Now, if you guys want to know about any other game, we can chat. We can run through any other game. If you want me to give an in-depth breakdown of what the other teams are going against, let me know. If you guys just want to see solely more Steelers content about breakdowns against players, we can do that too. Whatever you guys want to do, I will make the content. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate y'all. I go by Devontae Forever. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, until forever finds you,